Hey everyone. Hey everyone, welcome back to LazyCast episode 34.
I'm Ryan Westervelt, your lazy host.
And I'm Patrick Westfeld, your lazy co-host. Now Ryan, what's the topic of today's video?
The human puppet war theory.
Now see, I'm a huge advocate of the human puppet war theory.
And I absolutely hate it. I think it's unrealistic, poorly done, and I think there are so many fallacies in it that it shouldn't even be considered as a plausible theory for consideration.
In LazyTown.
In LazyTown.
Now, before we start going off to the criticism, let's just say what this theory is for our viewers who don't know what the human puppet war is. Now, the human puppet war is the idea that the characters in LazyTown are only in LazyTown because there's a massive war going on, most likely a human puppet war, and that they're there in case, society wipes itself out, that they can kind of repopulate the earth. And that Robbie Rotten's true goal is to keep them lazy so that they just don't draw attention to themselves, to keep the city safe. Now, the way Sporticus fits in here, it could go a few ways. He might be like an AWOL soldier, he might just kind of be a guy, he might be a guy with a bunch of supplies to keep them all safe. Not really sure. But basically the theory is that LazyTown is a safe haven for these kids while everyone else is fighting this huge war.
I feel as though a couple supporting things of this series are the bunker underneath the ground, which Robbie Rotten lives in, and the fact that it was obvious LazyTown was built for more people than it currently holds, hopefully for a greater population boost, because we never see anybody besides the, 8-9 characters that are in the show, and there are dozens of houses visible. There's also what looks like a runway out of town that is unused, or just a road that ends for no reason. There's a lot of unused space and room for expansion around it, and it shows many fields with clear fence dividers between them. So the area was obviously intended for use, but it's not being used. That is a very heavy benefit of this theory, and it makes it somewhat considerable, but what must be kept in mind is that the characters seem under no threat. It doesn't make sense how nobody would mention this throughout the show.
See, the show follows children. These kids wouldn't necessarily be thinking about this war constantly. They just want to have fun and play games, do sports and stuff. Why do these kids need to be thinking about a war?
Well, I'm going to use a real-life example. World War III. Kids still knew what was going on. It was a horrible thing.
World War III?
World War II. You know what I mean. World War III is the human puppet war.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. World War II. People knew what was going on. Kids knew what was going on, especially kids who were heavily affected by it. And if Stephanie was moved here by her parents, then obviously she would have some idea of what was going on. And kids spread rumors. They start gossip. That's an obvious thing they do, and everybody in LazyTown would know.
See, it's just a small pool of kids. There's like 5 kids. If you put all 5 of those kids in the town, and you were able to just keep 5 kids away from information of the human puppet war, they'd have no way of getting information about the human puppet war.
They would eventually notice that something was wrong. They have no connection with the outside world. And many times, there are connection with the outside world, such as in Season 4, Episode 22, The Dream Team. Robbie Rotten contacts the Villain Association to call in 3 backup villains for himself. Where does the Villain Association exist if not outside of LazyTown? There is an obvious female associate with them, so it's confusing as to where this could be, that they are able to not only teleport people there, but have them on standby.
See, there's no reason that everyone has to be in this human puppet war. First of all, that could be another safe haven like LazyTown, maybe a little bit bigger. Second of all, there are probably still regular towns that are functioning. I mean, those people do birthday parties. People still have birthdays during war. There could still be an organization that does birthday parties during a human puppet war.
I feel as though if the world was in ruins, as shown by the population being completely under the radar to avoid other places, or the devastation of another world war, then it would not be plausible that constant technology would be taking place. They were able to instantly transport to Robbie Rotten's underground lair, which doesn't make any sense based on modern standards.
This takes place in the future, though. Obviously, he has so many weird gadgets and stuff that don't exist locally. Anyway, want to look at this? I am a supporter of the human puppet war. Now, this is LazyCast, and this is Patrick.
This is Ryan.
And we're signing off.